In today's video, I'm putting ChatGPT to the test. We'll be seeing how well this AI software performs when I ask it, how would you value a company? As someone with years of industry experience under my belt, I'm curious to see how it stacks up. Is it going to do me out of a job? Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Phil. I'm a chartered accountant and was at KPMG. I've gained a wealth of experience over the past decades in a number of senior finance roles, including at BAE Systems, Prebon Marshall Yamane, and IPC Media. Before I joined FE in January 2022, I spent 13 years as a specialised trainer in accounting, financial analysis, and modelling at BPP Professional Education. First off, what exactly is ChatGPT? It was developed by OpenAI, a tech research company committed to ensuring that artificial intelligence benefits all of humanity. ChatGPT is an excellent example of this commitment. The GPT in ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-training Transformer, which refers to the way that ChatGPT processes language. But what sets ChatGPT apart from other chatbots is how it was trained. ChatGPT was trained using reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF for short. This process involves human AI trainers and reward models to develop ChatGPT into a bot capable of challenging incorrect assumptions, answering follow-up questions, and admitting mistakes. So let's ask ChatGPT a real question. How would you value a company? We can see that the ChatGPT answer is different from a regular search engine, which would generate a snowstorm of random links, some of which would be relevant and many of which wouldn't. But here we have a single, coherent response, as if a real person is talking to you. It seems considered, articulate, understandable, and therefore useful. Perhaps most importantly and most impressively, it's technically correct. These are 5 of the valid ways of valuing a business, and the one-sentence description of each method is a reasonably accurate description of how these methods actually work. So what are the shortcomings? Well, firstly, it's not actually comprehensive. It doesn't, for instance, describe EV to EBITDA or EV to EBIT, and those multiples are possibly the most commonly used methods of valuing a company. Because of the credibility of the ChatGPT answer, many readers would assume that this list was complete, and yet it's not. The second, more subtle shortcoming is hinted at by the final sentence, which refers to the specific circumstances of the valuation. The ChatGPT answer is simply a list of facts, whereas an expert would tailor their method of valuation to the business being valued. A real estate company with a high level of assets would be a prime candidate for a net assets-based valuation, whereas a discounted cash flow valuation would perhaps be more appropriate for a rapidly growing manufacturer. So let's drill a bit deeper. Let's ask ChatGPT how to actually build a discounted cash flow or DCF valuation using Excel. Again, we see that ChatGPT comes back with a coherent, credible response. It has the bare bones or facts of a DCF valuation. But it's almost like a valuation template in words. It doesn't address the subtleties and nuances of producing that DCF valuation. Let's look at some of the specifics. This first paragraph discusses the cash flows, but actually obtaining or producing those cash flows is perhaps the biggest challenge of any DCF valuation. They're highly sensitive to assumptions such as growth rates, and will probably be the key area of discussion and scrutiny both during and after the production of any valuation model. The discussion on terminal value is again technically correct. But again, this is often a very large figure that's highly sensitive to growth rates and costs of capital, which are assumptions. Small changes in these can either double or halve this terminal value figure. So again, we see that ChatGPT tells us the basics, but gives us no advice on how to create a credible, robust valuation. We need an expert with the benefit of real-life experience. A new analyst could probably follow these instructions and produce an answer. But the final valuation of an experienced analyst is likely to be very different. So as we've seen, ChatGPT is a highly impressive program. It uses the power of search and the vast range of information on the internet, and it sorts and collates that information into a coherent answer. Perhaps most impressive is its ability to convey this information in a real, almost conversational language. It's perhaps a good first step when you start to research a new area. It'll give you a quick feel for what's important and some of the key steps, perhaps acting as a signpost for further research. However, it comes with some health warnings. Firstly, it may not be that accurate. ChatGPT gives you a warning about this when you very first start. Second, in its efforts to simplify, it may not be comprehensive. There may be key information or key techniques missing. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, it lacks any application to your particular circumstance. It simply serves up already available and somewhat generic information, so it can never really replace a human expert who can flex and react to the world around them.